That's all it's like when you went skydiving. I was just banking on that guy making minimum wage who packed that backpack for me to do it right. And they're like, yeah. But there's also an emergency thing that comes flying out. And whenever we went out, as we were boarding the plane, the group in front of us, one of the people had to use the emergency chute.
Oh,
freaked me out. I'm like, what are we doing here? And you see all the instructors they go looking up, right? Like they're excited something's happening. It isn't just the boring standard float around. Like, emergency chute was used. And I'm like, is this happening regularly? No. And my dad goes, well, it ain't going to happen again. Fuck it. And my dad,
your dad went with you?
Yeah, he like forced us into the fucking, I'm like, I just don't know if I like this. Tim McAfee, first one off the plane.
Obviously.
So I'm off
by himself?
I'm in the back. No, he had a guy on his back. I'm in the back of the plane. You're kind of tucked in there like sardines. In Tim McAfee's front right side, I'm back left side. So you all the way up, and it's a miserable plane. I mean, it's a fucking miserable plane. And then a green light goes off, and then they just pull back the side of the plane. And you're like, holy shit. And they're like, you were at 13,500 feet. And then I just look up, and I see my dad, and it's gone. There's no words. It was just, my dad's gone. And I'm like, he's dead for sure. And then everybody else, Phil went, a couple other people went, boom, boom, boom. And they do all this practice on the ground. They have you up in like this, it's like a, what's those things that people use, like a treehouse. You're in like a fake little treehouse thing where they have you sit up there and they're like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your feet over the edge of the plane and you're going to tuck your feet back. And the guy behind you is going to rock you 1, 2, and then on the third time, you're both going to commit to going out, and then you tuck your feet up and your hands up, and that'll bounce you out, and then you'll fall for like 45 seconds to a minute, and then he'll give you a tap, and then he'll pull the thing. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And whenever we checked in, the weight limit was a stern 225. Stern 225 weight limit. And I get there, and it's for one of my dad's birthdays. I think it was his 50th or 40th birthday. I took him up there, and we get there, and we're reading the rules, and we're checking in, and we decided to do it literally the night before. So I didn't sleep at all. I had not a single moment of sleep. I'm like, this is a bad idea. My dad's always wanted to do it, but I mean, this is fucking, what if I kill my dad on his birthday? So we get there, we go do the check-in. They have these list of rules, like 225 is the max you can go. And I'm like, okay, good. I'm 230. So like, you guys can go. I'm just going to hang out here. And this little fucking tiny guy, little old guy goes, get on the scale. And I'm like, I was already on it, bud, 230. Like, your fucking rules, it's not my fault. And I stand on the scale. He grabs my hand, and he lifts my hand up until it says 224.9, and he goes, we'll go together, and then walks away. And I was like, no. Like, there's a rule for a reason there. And everybody's like, all right, here we go. Into this room now. We got to learn about what we're going to do. So I'm like, who's we? Like, I am too heavy. They're like, no, you're going to fly with that guy. I'm like, ugh. I hate that guy, and now I got him strapped to my fucking back. So you go into this room, and they show you this video, and it's this guy with this long ponytail, and he said death or die probably 10 times in the first 90 seconds, and everybody in our group just turned it. We're like, all right, I don't want to listen to this fucking guy for real. And they're like, you have to watch. Like, it's legally, you have to watch. I'm like, oh, is that right? Because the legal out there is 225 pounds. I didn't know we were so strict with rules these days. So I'm watching the video, death, die, death, die, death, sign, you got it. We fucking sign it. So then they take us out to this treehouse thing, and they do the sit down. You had to get past this little course on how you're supposed to exit the plane, and then you go into the lobby and wait till it's your turn, and they get you all suited and booted. We walk out there. As we're walking out to the plane, that emergency chute comes down, so everything is going wrong in my eyes. I'm like I'm a guy that likes to, I trust fortune cookies. Right? I trust fortune cookies.
Absolutely.
I trust signs from the universe. Mm-hmm. Every sign here was stating that I shouldn't do this, but you know what? Fuck it. My dad turned 50. Good for him. So we get on the plane. We go all the way up there or whatever. My dad just gets dumped off the plane. See you, Dad. Happy birthday. You're never going to see another fucking moment of breath again. So then it gets all the way up to I see my friends doing the rocking and going out. Phil does. I think Phil and the guy got into it a little bit because the rocking wasn't timed. Like, he was going forward, the guy was going back. So it was like a little moment. And I started laughing. I'm like, of course, Phil with this guy has to get into it. And then they go, and then I'm the last one on the plane, just me and the little guy that fucking did the thing, right? And he goes in my ear. He's like, "Are you ready, buddy?" I'm like, "No, man. We can just shut this. Like they're already there. Like there's nothing they can do." And he's like, "No, you're gonna love it." And he's like scooting me. This little guy. He's like a little tiny guy. He's like scooting me with his hips, like pushing me up to the window. And I like go to get ready to do the little treehouse thing, and he just dumps me out of the plane. Literally, no. There was no. My ass was still in the plane. Like my head almost hit the side of it. And there's a video. I'm going straight down, like straight down to earth for like the first 10 seconds, and then we flatten out, right? And as soon as I flatten out, my glasses almost get shot off my face, right? So I'm just like sitting there, and then finally I'm just staring at the earth, and I'm flying. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is a pretty awesome little thing. This is like a bird. And then you're watching Earth just get bigger and bigger. And I had the moment where I was like, I think I could die here. Like, you know, like it was like a free, like it was really free feeling. And then the guy, he's like, he's screaming at me. He's like, "How's it going?" And I'm like, "It's good, you know." And there's a camera person in front of my face, but they didn't catch up till late because we were fucking nose diving for the first 10 seconds or whatever. Probably a couple thousand feet were falling. So that person comes. I wave to my mom because she didn't go there. And then he gives me the tap for the time to pull the chute. And in my head, it was like, oh, this is the weight limit time. Like, this is why the weight limit happens for the chute and for the harness that is currently wrapped through my legs. So he gives me the tap. He's like, "You ready?" And I was like, no. This is the moment of truth here. So I held on to the jacket, like the backpack, as hard as possible. I'm like, if this chute breaks or the harness breaks, I'm gonna hang on to this backpack as much as I can. He pulls that thing, and I have never had a moment in my life inside where I thought I was gonna die within the next second, just waiting for that parachute to potentially catch me. And then all of a sudden, it felt like somebody pulled like the ripcord on like a yo-yo, and my grundle just got sucked up into the air. It was like, whoa! And the guy's like, "All right, we made it." I was like, "Whoa, were you worried?" He was like, "You're a heavy guy." I'm like, "Oh my God." So then we just start floating around, you know, and my balls are all the way inside of my kidneys. And he's like, "Here, take the little toggle thing." So I'm like kind of steering us around. It's a pretty cool thing. And you're doing that for like 15 minutes. But after 4 minutes, you're about bored with it. You're like, all right, let me get down on the ground. And as we're going down, I was like, "Oh, by the way, like I'm a professional punter, so like if we could not break my legs on a landing, that would be incredible." He's like, "You should have told me after." Now I'm nervous. I was like, Really? He was like, "You just lift those legs up," and we did a butt land. Yeah. I've never been that flexible in my life. I had my legs probably up by my fucking face. Yeah, I was doing a full V-sit, and we just came sliding into my ass. But it was a really, really awesome experience.
Is there awkward conversation the whole way down though? Like, what's that conversation?
No,
like?
you're just looking around. It's like it's a cool moment. I mean, he told me the guy was funny, man. He was very funny. I was like, "Were you worried about the weight?" He was like, "No, it's a combined weight." He's like, "I'm so small. Just because you're 5 pounds over, it's not that big of a deal." He was like, "I could have told you that earlier," but he basically gave me like, "This one's for me." You know what I mean? He gave me like, "This one's for me," and you're kind of like floating around and looking around. We had a funny conversation. Yeah. He was like, "Never do a double date, by the way, ever doing this." And I was like, "Why?" He was like, "Would you want a slick guy strapped to your girl's back who's literally about to save her life, which is what I'm about to do, what I did to you here?" And I was like, "No, that's hilarious." He was a funny guy. And we got down there and landed, and they were like, "All right, when do you want to do the next one?" I was like, "Next one? This is what we like to call a bucket list check mark." Yeah. And I am never getting in that fucking plane again. And it was a cool experience. I have it on tape. I haven't watched it in years, but I would...
The full thing?
Yeah, like whenever they finally catch up to me. I mean, I'm telling you, the guy just dumped me out of like I was trash right out of that thing, like straight down.
How talented are those camera guys, though? You know, like they have to catch up to you and try to get like that shot.
It was a woman.
Wow.
Camera guy, woman.
Jesus.
Guyman.
No,
I mean, it's like it's 1940.
Unbelievable.
Women call the camera woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's a universal?
Camera
like,
person.
Camera operator, dude.
Oh, cam op.
Way to go.
Thank you.